Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Wilkinson and today I'm going to be giving a brief presentation on how I earned my internship as a technical writing consultant for MSA Safety. A little bit about me to get started. I was raised in Houston, Texas, and I earned a bachelor's degree in history from the University of North Texas. I'm currently working towards a master's in professional and technical writing at UNT, and before working at this internship, I was both a teaching assistant and then a teaching fellow for the techcomm department. Finding an internship was an interesting process, to say the least. I started the process over a year ago in the summer of 2020. When doing so, I sent out over 20 applications to various companies. The process took a total of 5 months. When sending out these applications, I was more than willing to apply for any and everything that came my way, and I primarily used LinkedIn when looking for these internships. Eventually, when I found the MSA internship, I actually didn't make a formal application. I sent an email to my current supervisor giving her my resume and showing interest in the position. And then after a brief correspondence, I was offered a phone interview, to which I accepted, and then completed another phone interview and was offered the job. To give a little background on MSA, before getting into the actual details of the internship, MSA is a global company out of the United States with a home base here in Pennsylvania. It was created as a company that revolved around mine safety equipment. It's been in business for over 100 years. The company initially focused on safety equipment for miners, but has now grown into creating safety equipment for miners, construction workers, and even firefighters. The company as a whole right now is focusing on creating, but then also reworking existing equipment that can benefit overall safety of various job sites. Before getting into what my workday looks like and a little bit about what I do, I think it's important to describe the software I use so that way there is an understanding of what my everyday work looks like and gives a little bit more insight into what I do and essentially how it works. So to begin, I use these 3 tools every single day. The first being the single source authoring tool that is Madcat Flare. I use Flare for 95% of all work. Everything that I do revolves around using Flare, and I was actually hired for understanding Flare and being able to work in Flare, and the understanding that I have between the supervisor and myself is that my entire existence at MSA is to do work in Flare. I'm assigned that work using Jira. Jira is a work breakdown structure that assigns tickets to me that lets me know what work I need to be doing. Jira is incredible. The software is amazing. It allows for the user to see author of the ticket, who's assigned to the ticket, who can all view the ticket, as well as information about the ticket from everything of importance to the date due to comments. It's absolutely incredible, and I absolutely love using it. It's super beneficial. And then finally, the last software that we use is Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is primarily our main source of communication. We use it for instant messaging, video calling, video conferencing, simple conference calls. It's incredible, and I use it every day to communicate with my teammates. My work environment and team. I work for the technical documentation team at MSA. The team consists of 4 members, including myself, as well as our supervisor. The work hours are non-traditional. This means that I don't necessarily work a strict 9 to 5. Because I work remote and the majority of my team works across the United States, the actual hours in our day vary quite greatly. So because of this, I'm not required to start work at 9 a.m. every morning. I'm allowed to start work really when I need to, and to work until I have to stop or when I have free time. So this means I could work for 4 hours, take a break for 5 hours, and then work another 4 hours if need be. I just need to be clear to my supervisor on what my work schedule looks like, so that way she's able to contact me and let me know of any information that has come within the company or anything like that. Responsibilities at work. I've split this into 2 distinct categories. Direct responsibilities being responsibilities that have been assigned to me by my supervisor or by MSA as a whole. And then personal responsibilities are responsibilities that I have assigned to myself that correlate with my direct responsibilities, but are not necessarily a hindrance on my actual position at MSA. The direct responsibilities are as followed. I have a weekly huddle every week with my team. This is where we talk about current projects, things that are happening in the company, or any distresses or questions that we might have as a team, and we talk to our supervisor and get feedback. After that, I have a weekly meeting with my mentor, Ms. Dana Crano, who is a coworker of mine. She provides me the majority of the tickets that I've received currently and lets me know about how I'm doing, what I need to be doing, the processes at MSA. We speak every week, as well as she keeps and helps me manage my JIRA tickets and lets me know about my workflow. This means that we call it work bandwidth, which is essentially how much work you have on a scale and how it's affecting the other work. So if my bandwidth is really tight, that means I have either a lot of projects or one project that's stemming up a lot of other projects. But if it's really wide, it means I have space to take on more projects. And we talk about that every week and what that's like and how to manage both sides of the spectrum. My personal responsibilities include logging hours every week. I use a website that logs my actual hours for how much I work, so that way I'm ensured that I get paid, as well as I communicate with other departments on project status. This could be the graphics team, engineering departments, either other writing departments that we have at MSA to talk about the projects that I'm working on or any manuals that are coming up. I'm personally responsible for editing and managing manuals and then pushing changes in Flare. This is actually more of what my day-to-day responsibilities look like. I edit and manage most of the manuals that are assigned to me via JIRA tickets, and then I push those changes out to our servers in Flare. It's just something that I've put on my personal responsibilities because it's something that's extremely important and it can't be forgotten. The projects that I currently work on can be broken down into these two categories. The first being the main category that I work on, which is just manuals. Majority of what I do is I take existing products from FrameMaker, Premiere, or any other software that has originally existed, and I create a blueprint for that into Flare, and then I input that content from those manuals in Flare. So this means creating topics, creating image folders, and putting together these topics, and then table of contents, other such things in Flare. So that way, once all the content's inputted, if another coworker of mine or someone or even I need to pull that manual, it's really easy to just simply build the manual and not have to redo that entire process over and over. The other thing that I do is I communicate with the engineering and graphic design teams to make sure that those manuals that have been migrated into Flare are up to date and consistent with current information that we have here at MSA. This means that the formatting is consistent with what the current formatting standards are, making sure that if I talk to engineering and a specific graphic needs to be changed, that I'm also talking to the graphic design team to make sure that they're creating that graphic so that way I can later put it into a manual. The other work that I'm currently working on is more of a new project, in that it's a troubleshooting page that we're going to be creating for a gas detector. A specific engineering team that works on the gas detector and I are going to be creating this on an online troubleshooting page that will essentially be alive, meaning that it will exist online and be constantly updated as more and more issues or more and more solutions come up concerning the gas detector. Some examples of this can be seen here. I'm not necessarily allowed to show what the actual work in Flare looks like according to my licensing with the Flare license, since I don't own it personally. So because of that, I can only show you a copy of the PDF above. This is of a VTech SRL manual that I was working on. This is actually the second product in which that I created, and this shows just the first page of the general information and the initial warnings shown. I created this all using Flare using a formatting. This is just what the PDF final product looks like. For the troubleshooting page, I'm sadly not able to show you anything else because nothing else currently exists. This is where we're at, a simple Word document that has been written by an engineer on the team, and then I have created edits that you can see down below with the paragraph titled Paragraph Edit. She initially wrote all of the things that don't have that moniker, and I have created edits to them to try and give her an idea of what we could write for the website and what that would look like, essentially what the content would look like and what the verbiage would look like. It's really hard to limit or to specifically pick out which courses were beneficial to this position, because I could go back and cite any number of things that I learned in any number of the courses that I took throughout my master's program and claim them as beneficial for what I currently do. But I decided to limit it to these three courses because I feel like I use these three the most. First being editing, the second being design, and the final being digital literacies. Editing taught me how to edit the basic editing techniques, as well as how to explain those edits to original authors, and then how to understand a style sheet and implement those edits. I use all three of those things every single day when discussing red lines or any other things with engineers, and then letting them know what I think we should change and why. Design has been extremely beneficial because the CRAP method exists and is very real and is something that should be applied to any table or any sort of living document or any sort of images that come up. It's extremely beneficial, and it just makes everything look clean, nice, and how it should look. And then finally, understanding Adobe Premiere has been extremely useful because I use Premiere a lot to migrate products from Premiere into Flare, and so knowing how to use Flare and navigate, or knowing how to use Premiere and navigate to Premiere is extremely useful. Then finally, I put digital literacies because digital literacies introduced me to Flare and taught me the basics, and that's essentially what got me the job. Other than that, it also taught me how to understand and consolidate multiple software platforms into one project. At any given time, I could be working on Flare or working in Flare, Microsoft Teams, Adobe Premiere, using Jira, and then using Outlook to answer emails. And so understanding how to navigate and use those different softwares and then consolidate them into one specific project has been extremely useful and extremely powerful in my everyday life. And then finally, understanding the basics of important tech doc softwares is extremely useful and something that any technical communicator should understand. The key takeaways that I can get from this entire process has been that when finding an internship, make sure to apply for everything, no matter the qualifications. I applied for a ton of positions that I wasn't qualified for, and I don't particularly think that I was qualified for the position I currently have, but I applied anyways, and now I have an internship, and it's been a wonderful experience. Make sure to update your resume to match each job application. This is something that you should be doing anyways. Make sure your job application matches the actual position that you're looking to apply for. It's only going to help you. Make sure to be honest and humble in your interview, and don't be afraid to email asking for an update. Don't be afraid to reach out if you haven't heard anything back. It's only going to help you in the long run. A lot of times there's a lot of things going on with people that are going to be hiring managers, and they're not going to be angry at you for wanting to follow up on a position. When working at an internship, these first two have been extremely useful to me, in that admit when you don't understand something, and then when you don't understand something, don't be afraid to ask any questions. Don't lie. Don't be patronizing in the sense that you don't understand how to do something and then just say, oh, well, I'll figure, or, oh, I may know how to do this, or, oh, I think I worked on that, or something like that. Just be honest. It's only going to help you in the long run and only make you a better employee overall, and you're only going to learn more. People will respect it, and it's only helped me. It's only done good things for me. And going with that, make sure to accept responsibilities as they come, and to find time for yourself. Work can be really difficult, and so making sure that you're finding time to enjoy your own personal life is extremely powerful and can only help and benefit the work that you do. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. If you want or are curious about any other information at MSA or my specific internship, feel free to contact me at Benjamin Wilkinson at my.unt.edu. Thank you so much. Have a great night.